Alright, so we're first going to start by going over the SQ5. This is an Allen and Heath mixer, and so if you've used any of the other mixers in Austin public facilities, it's probably going to look pretty similar. So there's a couple things that you need to know about this mixer in particular. First, it is an analog and digital mixer. So when you're plugging microphones in, which we'll do in a little bit, that's the analog part. And so that's going to control things like your preamp, phantom power, and basics like gain and faders. But then you also have digital processing. So you can do EQ, compression, and things like that. And that's all on the mixer itself. Finally, it's got a USB connection in the back that's going to plug into Pro Tools and pass all of those analog signals from here into Pro Tools so that you can record it. Now, I like to start by teaching the mixer first, because if you don't set up the mixer, it's kind of going to be the bridge between everything. So if the mixer's not right, the microphones can't talk to Pro Tools can't talk to the mixer, and you kind of just have problems all over the place. So let's get started with the mixer, talking about what matters and what doesn't matter. Because you'll notice there are dozens of buttons, there's different colors, blinking lights, all of this stuff. But really we want to start with the most basic thing, which is just resetting it to its standard preset. And so there's a button on here that we'll show in a second that's called Scenes, and there's one that's called Audio Suite. There's also one that's called Audio Suite 48 volts if you need phantom power. And by loading that up, it should take care of most of your setup problems. There's still some more stuff that we'll talk about, but I always recommend starting with Scene and recalling that default scene. Before I show you that in depth, I'm also going to take you on a quick tour of the mixer here on the things that you need to worry about. So if you see a green button along any of the different places, that's usually going to mean your inputs, okay? So that would be your microphone, or that could be your settings, but green is going to be what you're looking for most of the time. You also have down here another green light, but this is going to be your layers light. And so I said this is a digital mixer. Really, there are 6 different layers that this mixer can use. And we just want to stay on layer 1 for this whole time. So if you don't see layer 1, go ahead and start on layer 1. From there, you can also see there are these big knobs that we will talk about in a little bit, and these are all of your effects, okay? And so there's going to be some stuff that we need to look at the screen for, there's going to be some stuff that we need to look at each of the channels for, and then there's some stuff that will be on these knobs. Other than that, we can kind of disregard a lot of these things for the most part. So again, when you're coming in, you see a really large mixer, don't stress out, just stick to the basics. And so now let's go ahead and punch in and we will take a look at some of those settings.